really did not need to spend that money on that. Hey you guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. It's Sarah. If you guys are new here, thank you guys for watching. If you're a returning subscriber, hey. So today I'm going to be doing a how I travel on a tight budget, and I mean tight budget. I get requested a lot on my Instagram on how I travel and do all kinds of things. I've been to London, Paris, Spain, I've been to Mexico, I've been to the Bahamas, I've been all up and down the East Coast, I've been to Texas. So I get requested a lot on how I travel and how I save money and stuff while I'm traveling. I have a whole list of tips here for you guys. And I put a poll on my Instagram and asked if you guys wanted to see this video, and a lot of people voted, so I'm here today with that video. If you're not subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit the bell so you're notified whenever I upload. These are just little things that I've noticed and learned over time that really help me to save money when traveling. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So my first tip for you guys, this is something that I do a lot because it just helps me to save a lot of money, is tip number one: get groceries wherever you go. So I actually stayed in London last year, 2019, for 3 weeks, and when I stayed there I bought oatmeal, I bought just a few things just to get me through like breakfast and lunch, so that if I did have to eat out, I would just eat out for dinner. And then this year I stayed there for 2 months and I bought all kinds of groceries, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, you name it. And it honestly did save me a lot of money, because I feel like if I had to eat out all those meals, I would have been broker than I already was. So if you just go and get groceries for the week and do like a little meal prep, I've done that, I'll show you guys here, I put it on my Instagram, then you guys should be good. That'll save you lots of money spending out. And also, you know, there's a lot of transaction fees on your card if you're going out of the country, so at least just do that once a week so you don't have to get food out every single day. My second tip for you guys is a little secret. I don't know if everybody knows this, my dad actually put me on game, but basically if you're checking for flights, number one, check on a Tuesday at like 5 or 4 a.m. early in the morning, because then, you know, that's when obviously not a lot of people are looking, and apparently they reset the flight prices on Tuesdays. So look on Tuesdays for your flights, and if you need to wake up, set an alarm, do that, because you probably will get a cheap flight. And another thing for checking flights, you don't want to look on there for super long, because you know your computer can track, you know, your purchases and see all the stuff that you're looking at. So I suggest going in a private window or private browser on your phone or your laptop, tablet, whatever, and then just looking up that way. So you can hit file and do like incognito window or private window, I'm not sure. I really just learned about that recently, so I just want to share that with you guys. So I think that's a really good tip. They won't be able to track it, and the prices won't go up because they don't know that you're looking. So another tip that I have is to travel out of season. So if you guys have noticed, I mostly travel in January, February, March. I don't really travel a lot in the summertime. Well, I have, but I don't really travel that much in the summertime. Like I went to London, Paris, Spain, all in January and February. So, and I definitely recommend traveling out of season, because you know, not a lot of people are buying tickets and wanting to go to these places in the winter time, because it's like, who wants to go when it's cold? But you still have fun, and it's gonna be a lot cheaper. Okay, so my next tip may be kind of obvious, I don't know if people know this, but definitely when you're purchasing your flights, to get a return ticket. Like, don't get a one-way ticket, because you're gonna have to end up paying twice, if not more, than what you're paying for a return ticket. So when I went to London in January, I paid $6.70 or something like that to London and back. So that's pretty cheap. I mean, it's like $3.30 something per ticket, whereas my roommate, she got a ticket to London, paid $6.40, and had to pay, I think, like $5.90 or $600 back. She spent way more than I did. Thank God I got my ticket, you know, in the beginning, because I would have been having to come out of pocket for all that. My next tip for flights is to check student websites. There's a bunch of student websites that I'll have here on the screen for you guys to use if you are a student or in college or anything like that. There are many websites that will give you discounts and alert you with like cheap flights and all that kind of stuff. So definitely check the student websites. It may ask you for your you know, school email, but I mean, that's really nothing. Just go on there, log on, and type in where you want to go. It'll find hotels, it'll find if you get rental cars, it'll find flights and stuff that's cheap for you, and then you can also get like different packages and stuff like that, so you don't have to pay everything out of pocket or pay everything separately. So my next tip for flights is to become a member of one of the airline companies. So I'm a United Plus mileage, whatever member thing it's called, and I get points every time I travel. So I usually try to travel with United because I already have points for them, and every time I travel that just ticks off more points that I can get towards a free flight or get discounted off. So definitely become a member of these flights. It really doesn't cost anything. I think mine was free, honestly. That's something that's easy for you to do so that you're able to get money off, because we all want to get money off, period. So my last tip for flights and stuff like that is to actually fly into another airport. So there's probably more than one airport in the city that you're going to. Like if you're going to New Orleans, yes, there's the one that's directly in the city, but there's also one that's probably 30 or 40 minutes out, and it may be cheaper for you to fly there and take a cab into wherever you're staying rather than paying that extra money to fly straight into the city, because a lot of times they know people are traveling and they know people may not know about the other airport. So if they jack up the prices at that airport, you're obviously going to buy it. Along with the checking the airline prices on a Tuesday, you also may want to travel on a Tuesday or Wednesday, sometime in the middle of the week, because they know people are probably working and they may not be traveling as much. So definitely try traveling on a Tuesday or Wednesday. Fridays and Saturdays and, you know, weekends, those are probably going to be more expensive because people are off, and those are the times that people travel. So if you can make it possible to travel on a Tuesday, definitely do that. These next tips have to do with housing and accommodation. So honestly, I've stayed in hotels, I've stayed in Airbnbs, I've stayed in hostels, I've stayed in student dorms, and I honestly think that you have to do your research, because, you know, prices go up and down for each of them. Sometimes you can find a hotel for cheap, sometimes you can't. So my recommendation is to, number one, stay not directly in the city that you're staying in. So when I lived in London, I lived in zone 2. There's zone 1 through 6. So zone 1 is basically like central London where all the attractions are, and I stayed in zone 2. I stayed right outside of the city, and it took me about 15 minutes on the tube to get into central London. I still had really nice views and everything like that, but it definitely was a lot cheaper. That's food, everything around there, like it's just a lot cheaper to stay directly outside of the city, because you can always take the train straight into the city and it probably will cost you much less. So my next tip is to try different accommodations. So I have here listed, check prices for your hotels, your Airbnbs, your hostels. If you don't know what a hostel is basically, it's kind of creepy low-key, and I told my friends about this and they laughed about it, but hey, we're trying to save money. So basically a hostel is where you're in, like, I guess like a hotel room. It doesn't have to technically be a hotel room, but it'd be in like a room, and you're basically sharing the room with other people. I mean, I know it may sound weird, but like everybody's there for traveling. I'm pretty sure like they do some kind of background check or do whatever they do, same thing for Airbnb. So it definitely costs a lot cheaper for you to stay in a hostel rather than paying for a hotel room for one person when you don't even need that much space, because you're probably going to be out all day anyway. So definitely try that. That is a really good tip of mine. Look at hostels, look at Airbnbs, because Airbnbs can be really cheap. Like we stayed in Barcelona, I think it was $60 per night, and it was 4 of us. So we paid $20 for the whole weekend, and it was what, 4 nights or 3 nights, $60 for 60 euros for 3 nights. Not bad at all. So my next tip is to take advantage of public transportation. I do not recommend taking a cab anywhere unless you're stranded and get stuck, or you know it's really late and the trains are done. But the whole time I took the tube, I got me a little monthly train pass. It cost me probably, I think it was like $160 or something for the whole month, whereas paying each way was probably about to be like $10 a day. So definitely get you a monthly train pass or monthly bus card, metro card, whatever you guys want to call it. Get that, take advantage of public transportation. You may have to walk a little bit, you know, it's fine, get your little exercise in, but it will definitely be cheaper in the end because you won't have to pay each time. You know, you won't have to swipe your card each time. You'll just get your monthly train pass and go. My next tip is for the international stuff. So if you want to travel, you know, across the water, then these tips are for you. So my first tip is to get, it depends on how long you're staying, to get a international SIM card for your phone. So I got me a little SIM card, a little cheap SIM card. Actually, it came with my accommodation, so they actually gave us this SIM card for free. So I basically just used that the whole time, popped it into my phone, and I think I paid £15 a month, which is roughly about, I think like $17 or $18. Paid that a month. I got so much data. I think I had like, I honestly think I had like 10 gigabytes of data, and I used that. Didn't have to pay, you know, because Verizon, they make you pay like $10 a day if you are roaming and doing all that stuff because your phone is trying to look for the towers, and it's just too much. So get you an international SIM card. It'll really help you because you won't have to, you know, pay for all that stuff. The only downfall about that is you won't be able to call home. Well, mine I was able to. I paid extra for little credits, but if you don't, you won't be able to call like any you won't be able to call any US numbers or wherever you live. So that's one downfall. But you have iPhones, you have Facebook Messenger, you have Zoom now, you have WhatsApp. I used WhatsApp, but you have all these different apps that you can use to make sure you can get in contact with your family and friends while you're out there. My next tip for international travel is to get a international credit card with your bank. So unfortunately, my credit card just did not come in time. For some reason, I ordered it back in January. They said it was shipped out or mailed out on the 14th, and it's supposed to get to my house 2 days later. And come March, my card still did not end up in the mail. I called them. I was like, my card's not here. And they were like, we sent it out. But I'm like, I don't have it. So I had to pay. I did have to pay those international fees. And I will tell you, each time I swiped my card, it probably cost me $3 extra. Whatever, if I was at the dollar store or the pound, whatever, Poundland, it cost me about $4 to buy that 1 pound item. It was kind of sad. I ended up getting me a Monzo card. So this is just a UK specific card. You can't see it, but this is just a UK specific card. So if you're traveling to the UK, which is Ireland, Wales, England, and Scotland. If you're traveling to the UK, then you can get a Monzo card and there's no transaction fees or anything. You just put the money from your credit card on there, and then so you basically just put the money on the card from your credit card or debit card or whatever, and you can use that freely without having to worry about transaction fees. You probably will have to pay a transaction fee like the first time you put the money on there, like the actual transaction, but at least that's just one time rather than every time you swipe. So my next tips are based on like attractions and things to do while you're out there. I get a lot of questions on like how I do so much sightseeing, and you know, it costs a lot to do these touristy things because they know people want to do them, so they make the prices really high. But I have found ways to get around that, thank God. First thing is to go on Google and look up free activities and free events near you. I bet you will find like pages and pages and pages worth of activities and things for you to do that are free. It may not be specifically the exact thing that you want to do, like it may not be the exact like activity that you had planned on or had in mind, but you definitely will find a lot of hidden gems and a lot of good things and have a lot of fun because these activities are free and they're meant to make you have fun. They may not cost anything, but these people put a lot of time into these activities for you to be able to use them and utilize their services. So I definitely suggest going on Google and just typing in free activities near me or free activities in London today, tonight, whatever, and it'll pop up, and I'm sure you'll find something that you could like to do. Along with that is try to do like non-touristy things. So say you're in Paris, there's the Eiffel Tower, there's the Arc de Triomphe, there's the Notre Dame, there's the Louvre. Yes, those are great things and I do recommend doing those, but try to do non-touristy things as if you actually live in the city. Like go to different bars or different restaurants that are specific to that city. Don't do anything that's like, you know, basically I guess I'm just trying to say don't do like the typical things. Yes, you can if that's what you want to do, but I bet you'll spend a lot less money doing other things that you may even have a better time doing. Yes, the Eiffel Tower was really nice, but it was just the Eiffel Tower. Like it was just a view. Yes, I was on it. I'm grateful to be able to have that opportunity, but it was really nothing to it. You just walked up all these daggone stairs and then looked out, and that was it. And along with that tip is to find ways to do the same thing without paying. Now I know that may sound like, what are you talking about? But I will explain. So me and Sam, if you guys don't know Sam, she's my friend. She came to London to visit me for spring break. She wanted to do the London Eye, right? The London Eye is about 40 to 50 pounds just to ride in the little Ferris wheel and go around for 25 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes. Again, there's nothing much to it. There's nothing to do in there. So we actually found a cruise, a little water cruise on the River Thames, and we took the cruise. She was able to see the Eiffel Tower. She she was able to see the London Eye, and she was able to see all these attractions without paying. She saw St. Paul's Cathedral, she saw Big Ben, she saw the London Bridge, she saw Tower Bridge, we went to Canary Wharf. She saw all these things for £15 rather than paying 40-50 pounds for this one activity. It was really, really good because it was cheaper, and it honestly was fun. We had a tour guide, there was like food downstairs, and it was really nice time. So I definitely recommend trying to do the same thing without paying or paying less. One thing that I forgot to say for the accommodation, try to pick a place that has breakfast included or has some type of like coffee or something that's included with your package, so that you don't have to spend that extra money out. You can just pay that money in your little package and eat the food that's there. Now, it may be hard to find like hostels or Airbnbs that have that, but if you are going to go with the hotel route, a lot of hotels do have breakfast included, so I definitely recommend checking those out. I'm sure you can hit like on the website's filter and, you know, label it to where it has to have breakfast included or something like that. So I definitely recommend that because that'll save you some money as well. Okay, another thing is, I don't know if a lot of people know this, and I just found this out last year and I am literally so shook. Basically, if you are in another country and you spend over $25, you are able to actually keep on one transaction. You're able to actually keep your receipts, and then when you get back to the airport on your way home, and make sure you do it at the airport in that country. Once you're on your way to the airport and you're at the airport, there's actually a tax return office or desk or kiosk somewhere in your airport where they will actually give you back all the tax money you spent. So, you know, you're not a citizen of that country, you're not required to, or, you know, responsible for paying tax to that country because you don't live there. They may charge it to you while you're there, but you can always get that money back. I think I got like $40 or $50 back last year, so that was really good because I had money to get me, you know, food at the airport or transportation home or anything like that. Also, there's a thing called tax-free purchases, so a lot of the stores now are transferring into this tax-free thing. So if you show them your ID, they see you're not a resident of that country, they can actually mark it off where you don't have to pay tax. So I have a few more tips for you guys, and these are just more broad tips. They're not really specific to anything, but my first tip is to do your research and be flexible, because you know, you may want to go somewhere or may want to go somewhere at a certain time, but it may be more cost effective for you to go, like I said, in the winter time or the fall time, or if it's a hot place, you know, go in a different season, or, you know, make it where you're going to spend less money, because you don't want to come out of it broke and then have to worry about money the whole time while you're there. So be flexible, do your research, like I said. Check out the hostels, check out the airports, book your flights at a different time, get your groceries, do all those things, so that way you're setting yourself up to spend the least amount of money possible, and that way you're not just breaking your bank trying to just visit these places. Another tip is to maybe opt out for a cruise. So if you see that, you know, this may not be cost effective for me, cruises are really, really good. Like, I think we pay like $300 or $400 for a 7 or 10 day cruise. You're going to probably 2 or 3 different locations. I don't know what just happened, but you may be even going to these different private islands and stuff like that. So check out cruises and stuff, because cruises are really good for, like, you know, people that just want to see a little glimpse of each place. You may not want to spend a week or 2 weeks in this one place, but you just want to go there, take pictures and see it and say that you've been. So cruises are really good. They're all inclusive, so your food and your meals and stuff are included. You of course have your water parks, all the activities on deck and everything that they do every night. I definitely recommend cruises. That's how I went to Mexico and the Bahamas, because we went on a cruise. My next tip is to set a weekly budget and don't go over it. So if you know that you have X amount of dollars to spend this week, don't spend more than that. Like, I usually gave myself, I think, $100 a week to spend, and it may not seem like a lot for people, but remember, I'm not buying food out. I may buy 1 or 2 meals out the week, but I'm not buying every single meal out, and there's not really much for me to get. Of course, when I first got to London, I had to buy all the stuff for my room, my towel, like just everything, soap, you know, face wash, everything like that. But after that, I think I set a weekly budget of 100. I don't think I ever went over it unless I was like shopping that week or something. But definitely set you a budget and stick with it, girl, because I'm telling you, you will come out of there mad as heck. Like, I really did not need to spend that money on that. You really did not need to spend that money on that. Okay, so my last and final tip is to pick a place. Let me read it out. Let me read it for you guys. Pick a place that suits your budget. Okay, so do not be like your girl over here and go to freaking England, the freaking most expensive place. It's literally the most expensive place to travel to. Don't do that if you don't have any money, okay? Because you will set yourself up for failure. Luckily, and this sounds really bad, but coronavirus happened and I had to come home early, but that saved me a lot of money, because I probably would have been broke by the end of my trip. Pick somewhere you know you can afford, because you don't want to find yourself there being bored or not being able to do stuff because it's so expensive to do stuff, and then you just wasted all this money on flights and hotels and food and stuff like that. Pick somewhere where you know that you can, you know, do well and have fun in. So that concludes this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a long awaited video and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it was long, but I wanted to get these tips out here for you guys, give you guys the tea on how I travel and the stuff that I do. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel down below, give the video a thumbs up, turn on the notification button so that you're notified whenever I upload a video. I will be uploading more videos this week, so stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I've been posting some videos on there, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to you guys later.